It was raining that morning, the kind of rain that seems to wash the color out of everything. The city buzzed with hurried footsteps, umbrellas colliding, horns blaring. But inside the towering glass building of Everhard Enterprises, the air was tense for another reason entirely. Today was the biggest pitch of the year, the one that could change the company's future. Every executive was on edge, waiting for one man, Daniel Brooks, the CEO known for his impossible standards and colder-than-steel demeanor. At exactly 9 a.m., Daniel glanced at the door, expecting his next appointment, a man named Michael Adams, a small-town florist who had somehow earned a shot at presenting his new eco-friendly floral product line. Daniel didn't care much for small-time dreamers, but his assistant had insisted on giving the man a chance. The knock came soft, uncertain, when Daniel called, "Come in." He wasn't prepared for what he saw. A little girl, no older than 8, stepped inside. She wore a pink raincoat 2 sizes too big, clutching a damp folder to her chest. Her shoes squeaked with every careful step she took toward his desk. Daniel frowned. "Sweetheart, this isn't a place for kids." "Where's your father?" he asked, already glancing toward the door. The girl looked up, her eyes a trembling mix of fear and courage. "He's sick, sir," she said softly. "So? I came instead." For the first time in years, Daniel Brooks didn't know what to say. The girl's name was Lily Adams. Her father, Michael, was supposed to make the pitch that day. But he had been admitted to the hospital the night before. "Something about his heart," the girl explained in her small, quivering voice. Still, before he left, he'd told her, "Promise me, Lily, no matter what, you take my flowers to Mr. Brooks tomorrow. You tell him I believe in what we've made." So she did. Daniel watched, half in disbelief, as Lily carefully opened her folder and spread out her drawings and notes, messy crayon sketches mixed with printed charts. "These are Daddy's flowers," she said, showing him a photo of a vibrant rose that shimmered with dew. "They stay fresh for 30 days without wilting. Daddy said it could help poor farmers who can't sell fast." Her words weren't perfect, but her heart was. She explained how her father wanted to change how flowers were sold, fair prices, sustainable methods, no waste. Daniel should have ended the meeting. He should have called security, thanked her, and moved on. But something about her trembling hands, about the way she looked up and said, "Daddy said you'd understand," froze him. For a long time, he said nothing. Then, in a quiet voice, he asked, "What's your father's name again?" "Michael Adams," she said. "He said he met you a long time ago. At a flower shop, before you became so busy." Daniel's heart clenched. That name, that small-town florist, was one he hadn't heard in decades. He remembered a man with kind eyes who'd once handed him a single rose when Daniel was just a poor boy trying to buy a flower for his mother's grave. "Take it," the man had said, refusing payment. Some things shouldn't have a price. He'd never forgotten that, but he'd buried that memory somewhere deep, under money, power, and loneliness. And now, here was that man's daughter, standing in front of him, soaked from the rain, trying to fulfill her father's dream. "Do you have more of these flowers?" he asked. She nodded eagerly. "They're in Daddy's van outside. I can show you." Daniel stood. "Let's go." Outside, the rain had slowed to a drizzle. The van was old and rusted, but when Lily opened the back doors, Daniel froze again. Inside were hundreds of roses, vibrant, alive, and impossibly fresh. He touched one, and the softness surprised him. It wasn't just a product. It was love, the kind of love that keeps something alive when it should have faded long ago. By the time they went back inside, Daniel's chest felt heavy. "Lily," he said gently, "tell your dad he doesn't have to worry. We'll make sure his flowers reach the world." Lily's eyes widened. "You mean, you'll help him?" Daniel smiled, the first genuine smile in years. "I'll do more than that." When Lily returned to the hospital later that evening, clutching a warm blanket and a contract Daniel had printed for her father, she found her dad awake but weak. "Daddy," she whispered, tears filling her eyes, "Mr. Brooks said he'll make your flowers famous." Michael smiled faintly, tears glistening. He remembered. "What do you mean?" she asked. Michael looked at her softly. "That man, when he was young, he came to my shop once. He couldn't afford a rose for his mom's grave. I gave it to him. I told him kindness always blooms again someday." Lily didn't fully understand, but she held his hand tightly. Weeks later, Everhart Enterprises launched the Forever Bloom Project, an initiative to help small flower farmers across the country. The first product? Adam's Ever Rose. It became a sensation, not just for its beauty but for the story behind it, a story of a sick father, a brave little girl, and the CEO who rediscovered his heart. On the day the first shipment went out, Daniel visited the hospital again. He stood quietly by Michael's bed, the hum of machines filling the silence. "You once gave me a rose when I had nothing," he said softly. "Now it's my turn to give something back." Michael smiled weakly. "I told you, Daniel. Kindness always blooms." Daniel blinked away tears. "It does, old friend." Lily stood by her father's side, holding a single ever rose. "It's beautiful, Daddy." Michael nodded slowly. "It's ours, sweetheart." Months later, after Michael's passing, Lily attended the ribbon-cutting ceremony of the Adams Foundation for Sustainable Farming, founded by Daniel Brooks himself. When she was asked to speak, her small voice carried through the crowd. "My dad said flowers are like people. You can't stop them from fading, but if you give them care, they bloom longer. That's what Mr. Brooks did for us. He helped my dad's dream live on." The audience fell silent, some wiping tears, and Daniel, standing in the front row, whispered to himself, "Sometimes, it takes the smallest voice to heal the biggest heart." As the crowd applauded and the first ever rose bouquets were handed out, the rain outside began again, soft, cleansing, endless. But this time, it didn't feel cold. It felt like a promise. A promise that love, no matter how fragile, always finds a way to bloom again.